Today's topic is there a middle class? And if so, what does it feel like? I hope you stay tuned to hear what I have to say about this important subject.
I really want to thank everyone for all of the respect that they showed to everyone on my videos. As you know, my Sunday videos tend to be a little bit more of a controversial subject. But everybody is so polite and respectful one another, and I really want to thank you for that. Because that is what I was hoping everybody would be. I hope everybody would just glean from each other. No right and wrong answer. It's all opinions of what people think. And I'm so excited to wake up every morning and to read all of the comments and people just sharing their stories with one another. And it's always due and respect. And I think that makes a channel great. It's not the content of the channel, so to speak. In my opinion, greatness is how the people react to the content. So my channel is great, not because of the content that I provide, but because everybody is so respectful and everybody shares their knowledge with one another. And we share our opinions. One person who I call my mentor sometimes has different thoughts than I do, but we're able to embrace each other with love and respect. And that's what I'm so happy to see all of you guys doing. Does the middle class feel like poverty? So let's dig deep into the subject. And is there even a middle class today? That's a question, and I want you all to give your input on it. We all live in different states, in different countries, and I realize that in different states things are so different. The East is so different from the West, but yet poverty is there everywhere. And how in the world can there be a middle class? It seems like the rich keep getting richer and the poor keep getting poorer. And maybe this is one reason. So take a look at this clip and see what you think. This is a food. Who can afford it? Who can afford steaks and all of the high prices that food is given? Not just the food, but the amount that we get. You know, maybe your price hasn't gone up, but it's sure the quality has gone down and the amount of food has gone down. Do you want to see how they really like to trick us? Well, let's take a look at this. In mayonnaise jars and other jars, it will look like it's the same size, but if you flip it over, it's concaved and it makes it look like it's the same size, but actually you're not getting the same amount of food. How about a $4 box of cereal? Now I got this cereal at the Dollar Tree for $1 because it was past expiration date. But you open up a thing of cereal and let's pack it down and let's just see once how much cereal you're getting. This is how much cereal you're getting. What is this? What is all this? We paid for air. Oh, in the 80s, the bag of cereal was this full. And then in the 90s, this full. And now we're at 2019, and it's almost half. In fact, if I would push it down a little bit more, you probably would get to almost half. It's 3/4, I guess you would say. But you're paying for a lot of air. These are ways that they're tricking us. Well, let's open this. Pasta salad. Now this was given to me by a friend who didn't like it. But let's just open it up and see how much you're really getting for your pasta salad mix. Oh my goodness. Well, there's our pasta salad. 2 cups maybe? And a little spice mix. She paid $3.49 for this. Pasta is really frugal and cheap. Not when it comes with this. You're spending all of this money for your sauce packet, which Italian dressing, and you're good to go. These are little ways that I feel that the middle class is starting to turn into poverty because we can't afford it. Middle class, they can't get food stamps because their paycheck is a little too high. But then the middle class has to pay for insurance. They don't get free coverage. You know, for a family of 4, the insurance can run over $1,000 plus a month. Who can afford that? I know I couldn't. So the middle class is being dumped with all of these taxes, taxes and taxes and taxes. They can't afford to pay all of it, and in turn, they look like poverty. They look like poverty, but they don't get the help that the poverty people get simply because their paycheck looks a little too big. You know, what is right is wrong, and what is wrong is right. And it's really sad affairs of our economy and our world. I think that things need to be different. I think there's a call for big change. Politicians, so I don't get into the nuts and bolts of it all. But I think we need a change. Maybe it's a little too late. What's the song? It's a little too late to do the right thing now? I don't know. I feel like it's never too late, but yet, in my optimistic lifestyle and my optimistic views, I'm starting to think maybe it is a little too late, especially for the middle class. Another thing I've noticed is I go to my favorite grocery store. It's a discount grocery store. And take a look at this clip as we go shopping together. 4 years ago, even 3 years ago, the parking lot was full of cars that you would consider maybe on the poor side. You know, cars that were 20 to 25 years old and maybe not in the best shape. But there is a change, and it's a very gradual change, but it's changing. Now the parking lot is full of cars, Lamborghinis, Delaney's, Cadillacs. It's full of cars, Mercedes. It's full of cars that were upper class people. And another thing I'm really noticing is when they go into the store, you can tell almost a difference. The women often have their hair neatly fixed and their nails manicured, and the clothing they wear, wow, you would think they came from New York City. High heels, stilettos with nice jeans. They look to the right. They look to the right and they look to the left to make sure nobody's watching, but they're buying the discount groceries. I don't think they want to be there, that's for sure, but I don't think they have a choice. Are they the middle class? They really aren't the rich, I don't think. So they must be the middle class. What's happening to them is going to house payments, car payments, insurance, credit card payments. So they're forced to buy the old type food. Let's face it, the discount grocery store is older food. It's food that the mainstream people didn't want. Or it's food that may have a little bit of something wrong with it. Maybe the packaging isn't quite the way it's supposed to be. But let's face it, it's second-hand food. And I'm proud to go there, and I'm proud to buy that food and use it. And you wouldn't. That food would probably be wasted. There is a change in the atmosphere. The middle class is slowly starting to become the poor class. These are my opinions, and maybe in your state things aren't quite like that. But I have a feeling in every state it is this way. Did you know a lot of the homeless are veterans? A lot of the homeless are people like you and I. Yes, there's some homeless people in this world that made choices, and that's why they are the way they are. A lot of them are in alcohol and drug abuse. But there are some that are homeless because they were the middle class and they fell between the cracks. They lost their homes, and when they lost their homes, they had nowhere to go. or they lost their vehicles, they got repoed and they couldn't make it to work. It's real. Sometimes I wonder if we don't live in a third world country, but we just are hiding it. How many people are only 1 week paycheck away from losing everything? How many people go at night not knowing if they're going to make it the next week? How many people are living in misery? But yet, when you see them on the street and in the grocery stores, they seem to have it all. I would bet that many of them who seem to have it all actually have very little. I hope this gave you something to think about in a tangible way, how we're being taxed and all of the things that we buy are becoming less and less, but more and more expensive. I hope that there's a change in the air someday in my lifetime, and if not in my lifetime, I hope for my grandbabies. I hope and I pray. But I teach them and prepare them for a very rough way of life, because I have a feeling that's where we're headed. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.